A warm welcome to all of you on this special event where we are covering where we are doing the CSS Beginners to Advanced series. 1 second, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, so no, it's fine. So, and again, a warm welcome to all of you on this special day where we will be covering the CSS Beginners to Advanced series in this week. This week we'll be having 4 classes: Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and the schedule will be around 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And in all these 4 days, we will take you all from the CSS basics of CSS, CSS Flexbox, and CSS Grid. And if we have sufficient time, what we will do, we will plan a project also. So that is how we will be taking you through the entire week. So I hope you all will enjoy the series. Let us wait for some time for the people to join. Then we will resume with the session. Okay. So in the meantime, let me have the setup ready. So today we will be covering only with the basics of CSS because it is again it is wide. .html. I'm ready with the setup. Okay, so everything is ready. Let us wait for another 1 to 2 minutes for the rest of the people to join. Then we will resume the session. 1 second. Okay, so the things are ready now. So I hope. Okay, okay. Okay, so let us start with today's session because time is also a constraint which we need to meet up. So 1 second. Okay, so let us start with today's session. And today we will be covering the basics of CSS, where we will see in how many ways we can add CSS, what are CSS selectors, and what are classes, what are IDs, and we will see the box model also. And after box model, we see the styling of list, styling of form. So, and also the block property and float property. So that things we will try to cover today. Okay, so let us start with today's session. So what is CSS? CSS is basically cascading style sheet. Okay, CSS is basically cascading style sheet, which is used to make your web page, or I can say your HTML decorative, attractive, elegant. So this is why the need of CSS is here. Okay, and later on, CSS also needed a lot to make the web page responsive, but we will see this in our Flexbox and our Grid class. Okay, fine. So now let us see. CSS is again managed by W3 School, and in 1995, I guess 1995, it comes into production. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, both these, all the three things are being managed by the Government schools only. Now, let us see in how many ways we can add CSS. So, first one is inline. Second one is internal. Third one is external. So these are the three ways in which you can add CSS for inline, internal, and external. Now, in this inline, what is this inline? Inline. So I just request you all to please correlate the meaning of the words with their natural meaning also, because then only you will be able to correlate what is the actual meaning of that word and what that thing is doing in CSS. What is the role of that thing in CSS? Now, inline means in the same line means directly we apply CSS to the HTML element. Okay, so let us see how this thing will happen. So for this, what we do, we use a style tag, and in this style tag, we use a background color property, and in this background color property, we will add the color aqua. Okay, so let us see. Okay, so clearly this color is coming as soon as we saved it. Now, in what is internal? Inter internal means internally somewhere we are applying CSS. So let us see how we will be doing this. So in this internally, we will again using the style tag, and in this style tag, let us apply the same to H2 with the same background color property. And in this time, we will be using some different kind of a color pattern. So here you can see hash double F double O double A. So it somewhat results in a pink type of a color. Now third one is external. Now external means externally something is doing like that. So I can say I can correct that externally. It means it is out of from this file. So yes, it is right externally. So let us have a file style.css, and in this style.css file, what we are doing, we are applying the CSS to H3. So again, we'll use the same property of background color, and here we'll this time what we will do, we are applying in the RGB pattern. So we'll have the value, let's say 0, 100, sorry, 100, 200. Okay, so but what is happening here? Uh, I have saved it, but it is not coming. The output is not coming here. Why it is not coming? Because uh, why it is not coming? Why it is not coming? Because there is no connection between this file, and this file. So what we need to do, we need to establish a connection first. For this thing, what we'll be doing, we will be using a link tag. And this link tag will establish the connection between the HTML file and the CSS file. So that is the purpose of this link tag. Okay, so here mm, so externally, with the help of this link tag, we establish a connection between the HTML file and the CSS file. And with this connection, the HTML tag, which is the H3 tag, which contains the content as external, get the color like this. Now, after this thing, let us see the selectors. What are selectors here? So here, H3 is the CSS selector. Okay. The entire thing inside the curly brackets, you see this thing, what I have highlighted is a declaration. This is a declaration. This thing is the background color, the property, and this thing is the value. So that is how the things go like that. Okay. Now I repeat once again, this is a selector, declaration, value, and property. So that is how it goes like that. Now after this thing, if you have noticed one thing here, okay, if you have noticed one thing here, I have added only a single property, which is the background color property in inline, internal, and external. So, but one thing to notice, that in all these things I have only added the colors. Here I have added a color, a light blue kind of a color, pink kind of a color in H2 means in internal, and a dark blue kind of a color in external. But in all the three ways, I have added color in a different pattern. Why is it like so? So I just want to tell you that these are the ways in which you can add color. So first one is simply typing the name of the color, which I did as simply typing the name as the aqua color. Second one is something kind of a hexadecimal color, which I have added. Third one is the color which I have taken in a RGB pattern. RGB pattern. So in this RGB pattern, okay, so let us discuss one by one. So for this thing, we have female color picker. And second one is HTML color codes. So this is what there are around 140 color names which you can simply type it. So these are the 140 color names. Okay. Now after this thing here in the second pattern. Second pattern is somewhat like of a hexa pattern, and it starts with hexa also. So it starts with hexa. So that means um, it contains hash, means hexadecimal color system, and it after hash it followed by 6 alphanumeric characters. The range of the characters starts from 0 to F, means 0 to 9 and A to F. Fine. Now these the first two letters, double F represents the red color, double zero represents the green color, and double A represents the blue color, means RGB. Again, it is a combination of RGB. Now here in the third pattern, if you see here, third pattern is purely resembles the RGB pattern, where it contains the RGB color, and the value of the RGB starts from 0 to 255. 0 to 255 is the range. So let us see this thing here. So you can have in the RGB. So this is the RGB here where you can have the range. You can drag and drop, and you can have any color like that. So this is being possible with the help of the RGB. So you can see here the range is see 226, 255, and let's say 0. So the color will be in a pattern of light blue color. Now, okay. So now in the top here, you see one more kind of a color which is called as the HSL pattern. HSL. HSL means H stands for hue. H stands for hue. Hue contains the colors. H stands for hue. Hue contains the color. S stands for saturation. Saturation contains the sharpness. And L contains lightness. Lightness contains the brightness. So in you can copy, click on any color, have the these codes, copy it and paste it. This color will get reflected. So that is the how. That is why you can go ahead. Now after this thing, let us see. Let us have a paragraph first. So I have a paragraph, and the content will be a lorem content. Now after this paragraph for the lorem content, what we do? Let us this paragraph. So we'll have the first as a font size of let's say 30 px. After font size, what we have some line height property of let's say 2 rem. After line height, let us have some text transform to uppercase. Text transform, let us have text decoration to solid. After that, let us have a line height property to let's say 10 px, 20 px, 30 px, 40 px, and after that we can have line height. No, line height already we have taken. Let us have the letter spacing, letter spacing 40 px, and we have word spacing, let's say 15 px. So these are some basic font properties. So, and all these things are self-explanatory, but we will discuss. So font size, you all know what is font size? The height of the font. Line height means the spaces between the lines. After line height, we have text transform. Text transform uppercase means all the letters will change to capital letters. Okay. Text decoration solid. We have letter spacing. Letter spacing means spacing between the letters, means gaps between the letters. After letter spacing, we have word spacing means spacing between the words. So that is how you can correlate these things. Now, after this thing, let us have another paragraph with the content as 1 second. This will not. We have another paragraph with a lot of 10. Okay. So this small paragraph again follows the same set of styles. Now, what is happening here? This set of styles, what we have given to the first paragraph, will get replicated to the second one also. The second one is also using the same set of. Why this is happening? What is the problem? The problem here is there is no differentiation, there is no bifurcation for the set of styles what we have given, that which paragraph needs to follow the set of styles what we have given. So for this thing, what we do, we have introduced classes and IDs. Let us have class here, class of letter top, and here we have ID bottom. So we have introduced classes and IDs. Now what are classes and what are IDs? So classes and IDs both are used to target HTML element. Okay, the purpose is same, but the difference is same class can be used multiple times. This top can be used multiple times. Okay, but this ID can only be used one time. So that is the main difference. And the dot is used to highlight the class, and hash is used to highlight the ID. We have font size of let's say 22 PA. So you can see the difference. So this is how you can correlate this. We'll have the color as orange red. This is how you can correlate these classes matters. Now the purpose is same for both the class matters. These both the things are used to target the HTML element, but the main difference is class can only be used one time, ID can only be used. So a class can be used multiple times, ID can only be used one time. So that is the main basic difference. Now after this thing, let's see the box model concept. Okay. So for this thing, what I will do here. For So the box model concept, the box model contains of four things. First one is the content. Already we have a content here. This is the content. After content, what we do, we have some padding. Padding of, let's say, 20 px. After padding, we have a border. After border, we have a margin. So this is the entire structure of a box model. The content, or after content, we have padding. After padding, we have border. After border, we have margin. So this is the entire structure of the box model. Now, in this box model, padding is nothing but the internal space. Padding is actually used for the internal space. And padding, when I given padding 20 px means 20 px top, 20 px right, 20 px bottom, and 20 px left. On all the sides, it will take 20 px. A border is very simple. Border 4 px, solid with black color. Solid means single line with black color on all the sides. And after padding and border, we have margin. Margin is used for external space, and I should say for the external space, and also this margin will be utilized in all the direction. So that is why it is being said that padding and margin needs to be used. Now, after this thing, what we do, let us check out some methods. 1 second. I do. We have padding, left of let's say 10 um, padding top of let's say 20 px. Tops, after padding we have padding right top let's say 30 px. Padding bottom of let's say 40 px. So this is how what we did. We have given padding on all the sides differently. So this is how we will be doing things. Now after this thing, similarly we can replicate this for margin on. So let us see how we will doing it. So we have margins top for let's say 40 px. Margin 1 second. Margin of bottom let's say 30 px. Margin of right let's say 20 px, and margin of left let's say 10 px. So these are the four ways in which we can have different sites have different margins. So this is how you can manage this. Now there is another way in which we can do this thing. Okay, so let us check out. If we have margin of let's say 10 px and 20 px. So 10 px will be for top and bottom, and 20 px will be for left and right. So this is how we are managing this. Now after this thing, if I have padding of let's say 20 px and 40 px. So you can say like this: 20 px is for top and bottom, and the 40 px will be for left and right. So this is how you can correlate this thing. Now after padding box model, let us do the styling of list. For the styling of list, we have a structure. So I have a div, and we'll have a h2, we'll have a ui li into 5. and li. Okay, okay, got it. Identify. Okay, I. Okay. So this is the structure what we have created. Now let us replicate this thing. Oh, sorry. Let us fill this thing. So we have a category, and here, if we don't want a click functionality, we will put hash, and I let's say red in blue flag purple. So these are the four colors. Five. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four, five. Five colors we have added. No. Okay, so let us have a parent class also. Parent class. Parent class categories. Okay. So here, what is happening? We have a parent class categories, and in this parent class categories, okay, try to connect this. This parent class categories controls the whole of the structure inside it. So this is why this is managing things. Now after this thing, let us style the structure categories, and we have some border let's say 5p fixed border with excellent. Let us have some internal space of let's say 30. Um, 30 so that some space will get created. And 1 second. Oh, this thing also. And let us have a border radius property of let's say npx. So that these sharp edges will get turned into a curved ones. And after this border radius property, let us target dot categories, and what we can have, we can have a target the h2 to use PSP, and this pink color is coming from this thing. So let me comment out this thing also. And here what we use the text transform to uppercase fine. And okay, so let us pick dot categories, and we will target UL, and we use padding of 0 and list style to none, so that this dot will get removed, and the entire li will shift towards the left. Now after this thing, dot categories li on some space, so what we do, margin the bottom, let's say 20 px. Okay, and in the anchor tag, dot categories anchor tag, we change text decoration to none, and we'll use the color to uh, black. Okay, and in the anchor tag, what we do, we have in the list file we do border in the bottom, let's say 1p dot red to blue color. So this is how, with the help of these small things, we will be able to style the list. So that is how we will be managing things. Now, after this thing, let us have a form also. So we will create a form and we will design the form also. File the form. So we have a form tag, and in this form tag, let us create the skeleton first. We'll have a label and a input tag. And in this form, we have a div which contains both the things. This label 4 is this ID is also not required. So this div will have a class as form GP, and let us replicate this thing now. Oh, so these are the three structures. Now we have the label for, let's say, name. Here we have for date, for message, and this is where we will use text area. Text area name for message. These calls and rows not required. Uh, like this. And what else we can have? We have here class of my form. So this is our form. So we have created my form. Now, before going further, let me comment out this thing. We have a name age. Input type we have for age, we have the input type with number. And here the name will be in the name. Here name will be in the age. So this thing is basically for backend. If you submit something here, it will go in the backend. After this thing, what we do, we have an input type submit also is required. Input type submit. Input type submit, and so the value will be yeah, this small button which contains the value as submit. Okay. So this is the structure. Later on, if any changes we will do later on. But in this submit, let us have a class also. Class btn. Okay. Now let us go ahead with the styling of this form. So we have my yes, uh, my my form, and this my form. Let us have a border first. Border, let's say 4p. Let's call it a black color, and let us have a width minimum width. Let's say 50 px. So it will not work here. Use the border radius property. So let's say 10 px, and we'll have some padding of let's say 30 px. This will be like that. And after this thing, what we do for the form GP, In this form GP, what we will do, we will use a display of block. No, not display of block. Here in this form GP, we'll use a font size of at 30 px, and here what we do, label the block so that things will come in this pattern. And in the input, what we do will have some padding internally of its say 20 px, so that sometimes this will is created. This is 20 px, this is 20 px. And similarly, we will have for text area also text area padding of 20 px. Looks nice. Now this is all the structure. Now for the in label, what we do will have a or let us have a standard font size in the my form. Okay. Now in this input, what we do, we'll again use a border radius property of let's say 10p, so that this is the star values. And what we do, we'll use the outline to and it looks now nice. And after this thing, what? Oh, okay, okay. So Anas, hi, good evening, Anas. Hi, Coco. Hi, good evening. Yeah. So in the meantime, let me have the attendance also shared. Let me share the attendance also. So here, this is the day one attendance which I have shared in your live chat. So I request you all to please fill right here, right now. Okay. So I will wait for a minute for you all to fill the attendance. Please fill the attendance form right here, right now, so that I can acknowledge you all. So I hope you have filled attendance by now. So let us resume the session. Okay. So we are about to style the form. Now let us crack this button. So we have dot btn, and in this dot btn, 1 second. So we have got btn, and is what btn. What we do will let us increase the font size first to 30 px. Okay, and we'll use the border to none, and we'll have the color to color to white, and the background color, let us change it to blue. And what else we can have? Mm, okay. So let us add a hover property also. So for this thing, what we do, dot btn hover, we'll do a change, we'll do a reverse the background color to white and the font color to blue. So this is the hover. Background color, let us change it to light pink. Let us add a click functionality also. Dot btn active background color will change it to red. Hover and click. Hover and click. So click on the click functionality. What I will do? How long is the class? Class will be around 1 hour, my dear friend. So I will finish in next 5 to 7 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. And the font color will be when in active, we'll change it to white. So let us check out our active. Okay, perfectly working fine. So this is how you will be able to style the form. Now after this thing, let us check the float properties. For the float property, what we will be doing, we will be having a div h2 and a p. So orm of let's say 20 div with the class of block, and h2 we have added 2. So this is structure, we will replicate it. So we have a header, header. Now here, if you have noticed this, we will be using a common class. Here we will be using a common class block. So now let us pick this style, pick this class dot block. Will use a float left property. What is happening? 1 minute. Float left with the width to 33.50%. So this, with the help of this thing, you will be very easily able to put the things in this pattern. Now after this thing, let us have a scenario where you have only two things. So what you will be doing? So you have a block 1 and a block. So for dot block 1, use a float of right with the width of let's say 50%. Here also we will be doing with 50%. So this is how, with the help of float property, float left and float right, you will be able to manage the things. Now after this thing, let us check out the positioning. What is positioning? So positioning is nothing in CSS position, nothing but how we will be able to place the item. So for this thing, let us have a structure. We'll have a div h1, h2. H1 have HTML, CSS, class, let's say P positioning box is the class. Now, what I will do here, let us target this box. Now, try to understand the structure. Here in this structure, if you have noticed one thing, H1 and H2. H1 is HTML, H2 is CSS. So always H1 will have to be above H2 because this is the thumb rule, as H1 is always be above the H2. So let us use the positioning and we will try to roam this H1 and H2. So what you dot p box dot p box, and in this dot p box, what we will do is let us have a width of, let's say, height of, let's say, 600p. Border of, let's say, 40. Okay, so let me change this to 900px. Looks nice. Now, in this structure, you see, we have HTML, we have CSS, means H1, H2, and we have a border and a page. Okay. So now what will you doing? Dot p box H1. Okay. So let us discuss positioning. Positioning is how you will be able to position the items in this current page. Okay. Now there are two scenarios. The scenario number one is you take this whole page as a reference, or you take this border top as a reference, or the natural behavior. The neutral behavior or the natural behavior is something related to the static positioning. Second thing is the relative. Relative means you are relating something. You are taking the reference from anything. So here the reference. So let us check out how this thing will do. So let us have for the positioning, we have from the positioning H1 means what to do? We have the position of absolute, and from the absolute, what we want this to be from the top to, let's say, 30px. And from, so see, now from the top to 30 px, what happened? H1 is below H2. So with the help of the positioning, you can do this magic also. Now let us target dot p box H2 position to absolute, and from the bottom will this one to 100px. So this moves like that. Now let us have a position of relative. Now see relative. Relative means we are taking the reference of this box. Now here the parent is this box. Earlier in the position absolute, the parent is this whole page will be considered as the parent. Now from the top we have taken, on the left, let us assume 200px, and from the right, let's take 150px. Now you are moving things inside the box. So this is how you can do things very easily with the help of positioning. Now a last type of positioning is also here, which is the positioning of a box. So what we do here, para, and this para contains a content as text. We have a class FBTN fix button. So this pair is not working. So we have a button. Okay. So this is the button. So now what we do, we will target this button. So we have dot FBTN, and what we do, we use a position to fix, and I want this to be from the top 200 px. Let's have increase in the font size and px, and so let us assume that this will be the position of the fix button. So here comes to an end of today's class. So tomorrow we have some still left for the basics part. Pseudo class is left. So we will do the pseudo class and we will start with the Flexbox. Okay. So thank you. Thanks a lot for your patience. See you tomorrow sometime.